What's the word, YouTube fam? You watching Wait a Minute TV with your host Jay Wade, and well, we have finally reached the season finale. There is a lot to unpack, so as always, without further ado, let's get right into it. I want to start off by saying, pray for the people of Mark's reality because they can't catch a break as long as superheroes exist in it. With that being said, the first thing we see is more casualties due to the fight between Invincible and Conquest. I mean, absolute decimation and destruction of entire cities. Conquest starts monologuing to my boy Mark, explaining to him he's not really on Earth just to conquer it for the Viltrumite Empire. He says in so many words that he's really there because he's on some full extra type of time. Meaning that nigga just like to fight. He lived for that shit, you hear me? Surprisingly, Mark starts putting belt to ass. He's visibly pissed, and I'm glad because it's about goddamn time. But it's not enough in my K-Dot voice because Conquest just starts demolishing Invincible. He's clearly loving this energy. Oliver and Debbie witnessing this battle on the news, and just as expected, Oliver goes to join the fight with Debbie reluctantly allowing him to do so. I did feel for Debbie a little bit this entire season because I could just imagine if I was a parent how it would feel to have children who are constantly in fights that are always life threatening. Oliver tries to keep up with Conquest and Invincible, but is having a really tough time to do so because his strength level is just not there yet. Conquest is continuing to monologue as Invincible is trying to tap out of the fight, but he doesn't allow him to do so because he really wants Invincible to challenge him for the fun of it. And as he's telling him that all he needs is a little bit of motivation to beat him. That's when Oliver comes swooping in to join the fight, thinking he tough, but he gets put in his place real quick with the most egregious smackdown I've ever seen in cartoon history. This put that extra fire under Mark's ass that I was looking forward to. But even that is still not enough. This man Conquest gets off on this kind of shit, you hear me? He dog walking Mark while monologuing through the entire fight, putting belt to ass and schooling him every step of the way. The ass whooping got so bad at one point, he smacks Mark off to the side, takes Oliver, knocks the Mario coins out of his ass, and starts stretching the boy until he almost pulled him apart. Like, bruh, this is what my grandfather meant when he said, that's one bad mother dude. Conquest is like Omni-Man on steroids, which says a lot. Eve joins the fight against Cecil's request, and she starts trying to whoop on Conquest, but this only gets her jaw broke and a hole ripped through her stomach. When Mark sees she's unresponsive, he just loses it. I'm talking broken leg, broken arm, just trying to whoop on Conquest, and even all this isn't enough. Conquest lets him know that he's truly lonely and the other Viltrumites really don't fuck with him because they think he's too strong and too unstable, so he looks at himself as a victim of his own success, which really don't matter because at the end of the day, he's bloodthirsty and doesn't want to change at this point. This man proceeds to choke the living shit out of Mark, and right before Mark's eyes rolls to the back of his head due to suffocation, Eve regenerates with the power that I could only equate to Jean Grey's The Phoenix Force. She blasts Conquest's skin right off his body, and as he threatens to make sure she's dead this second time around, Mark just loses it and smashes this man face in, defeating him. We then cut to Cecil coming in to scoop up Eve and Mark because they passed out due to this fight, and what's left of Conquest's disfigured body. This fight really showed me that Mark needs to get his weight up because two broken arms, a broken leg, and damn near death again, my boy, is crazy. His strength does not match his rage, and I think that that has been the problem this entire season. Mark heals up with Eve right by his bedside, and they confess to each other that they are so glad that they didn't lose one another. All the superheroes say their goodbyes to Rex at his funeral. The tensions are very emotional, and we see that Eve still has some unresolved feelings of her own for Rex that makes her very emotional as well. My boy Mark is just happy to see that she's still alive, so he pays those feelings of hers no mind. I'm not gonna lie, she did a little too much with her. He was my first bullshit ass speech. But as a secure man, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day because dude is RIP now. We then get a montage of all Mark's supervillains still alive, well, and plotting their revenge. Angstrom Levy got his new arm and agreed to work with his former henchman, which I stated he should have done in my breakdown of episode 7. The Sequids are planning their uprising from the sewers in which they are hiding. Cecil shows Mark a fake version of Conquest's body and is holding the real one captive so that when he does regain consciousness, he can interrogate him about the Viltrum Empire. I'm knowing this gonna rub Mark the wrong way, and he gonna give Cecil a lot of flack for this, but honestly, Cecil not wrong. He ain't really been wrong this entire season. The government needs to know how to take down a Viltrumite, a silver bullet, or a form of kryptonite, if you will. All in all, I think that this episode was a decent season finale. It was action packed, and although episode 7 was my favorite episode of the season because it was way better to me and more fulfilling, episode 8 was definitely a solid ending for season 3. I'm excited and intrigued to know what season 4 has to offer, especially with that post credit scene, although we'll probably be waiting a long time for that considering how long it took for season 3 to drop. You all let me know what you all's thoughts are down in the comments though. Please hit that thumbs up button, share, subscribe, and until next time YouTube fam, I'm out.